Art informs culture, which then in turn informs art. This concept is one I've been thinking about for a long time. As artists, the bulk of what we create, regardless of instruction, be a direct amalgamation of the influences we gather over the course of our lives. I believe the depth of an artist's work is a result of how wide a net they cast over the cultural landscape. However, this idea stands in direct contrast to another, also interesting perspective, which is to lock out the outside world, put on blinders, and work from a more introspective place, where innovation and unique qualities emerge through constant iteration of ideas, going deeper into the self, and cross-referencing your creation with earlier projects. In this manner, a whole internal language and artistic vocabulary can develop free of outside influence. The concept was presented to me when listening to Zane Lowe's interview of the artist Blawan for his latest album Sick Elixir, in which he claims not to listen to anyone's music other than his own. The result of this can be heard when listening through this project, as it appears to exist seemingly for its own sake from its own influence. I think it's important at this point to acknowledge that neither path is inherently right or wrong to take. It all comes down to your goals as a creator. The isolated, selfish direction could be ideal if your goal is true individuality. I do not employ the word selfish as a negative, by the way. To quote Rick Rubin, the audience comes last. I believe that. I'm not making it for them, I'm making it for me. And it turns out that when you make something truly for yourself, you're doing the best thing you possibly can for the audience. Worded another way, being selfish is maybe the most selfless thing you can do for your art. Jim Carrey once said, "My dad could have been a great comedian, but I didn't think that was possible for him." Instead of following his passion, he made a conservative decision and landed a secure job as an accountant. However, when I was 12, he was laid off from that job, and our family had to do everything they could to survive. That experience taught me something profound. Even if you play it safe, you can fail. You can fail at something you don't like, so why not take a chance on what you really love? That's what I learned from my father. It's not just about what life can offer, it's about what you're willing to pursue without fear of failure, because the biggest risk is not trying. I see many artists play it safe, or choose willingly to pigeonhole their sounds and identity in order to appeal to a certain audience that they think wants that sound or style. This can work to get your foot in the door, but I believe isn't the best path towards longevity or artistic fulfillment. Now, that might not be your goal, but if it is, then I'm here to tell you there's a better path. The first step in this process is to self-reflect. Who are you as an artist? What is your message? Your unique perspective? It's all right not to have the answers to those questions at first. Meditate on this. Before I started Crimson Child, I was making and releasing music under a different name while I learned the basics of production and worked to figure out who I was musically. Then in 2017, I decided to line up the last few releases of that old alias while I took the time to write a ton of new music and take on this journey of discovery, which ultimately led to the first Crimson Child release in 2018. The last song I released on my old alias got about 700 streams, while the first Crimson Child release very quickly shot up to 70k, while also being way more satisfying and reflective of where I was at in my career thus far. This experience taught me the importance of taking the time to explore and look inward to formulate the path ahead. It's one I aim to repeat a few years later in 2020 when I went alone to a cabin in the woods to begin work on my debut album, 11th Hour. I spent the first 2 days of that journey just meditating, walking through the woods, dreaming of all the possibilities of this project and what it was I wanted to express. When I eventually wrote and finished the album, it became my most successful body of work thus far. Another testament to the importance of extended introspective periods of creation in my process. Each one has led to a reinvention of how I think about my work and identity, and I couldn't recommend you to undertake similar experiences more highly. At this point, something I think worth discussing is the importance of depersonalizing from your art, something I and many artists historically struggle with. The benefits to achieving this include more easily being able to finish and release work, less attachment to metrics and numbers, less friction when exploring reinvention, better mental health due to not correlating your happiness with the relative success or failures of your art. I bring this up because a natural byproduct of creating art through introspection is getting quite attached and emotional about it. This presents a great risk because when it comes time to release your work into the world, all sorts of reasons not to can pop up and appear logical. What if people don't like it? What if I fail? I can make it better. Maturity is realizing that all this can be true and still not be a good enough reason not to simply release your work and move on. Chances are you will look back on a perfect project in 6 months and notice several things you could do differently. This is the nature of creativity and improvement, not something to shy away from, but to embrace. Depersonalizing allows you to focus on growth and consistent improvement, in favor of latching onto projects that are just snapshots of your current creative abilities and mindset. You are not your art. You are not even your hobbies and interests. What you are is an observer, the world, the culture, and your physical self. Understanding this frees you from what you've been, helps you understand that every moment is an entirely new existence of which you are the master. You get to choose how you see your past, your present, and your future. Manifestation is real and is what led me to this room with this camera talking to you. Many people drift through life being led by the wills and preferences of others. Don't let this be you. Art has the incredible power of transporting us outside our bodies and into a higher dimension. When we engage in art, we are tuning into an unseen current of vast creative energy which is as old as the universe and will certainly outlast us. The act of observing great art and culture is to experience others' glimpses of this great current and imbue more of ourselves with its presence and power. You can make anything. You can be anything. It's just a matter of deciding what you want, fixating on that goal, while giving yourself permission to adapt, and then dedicating yourself, working hard to achieve it. If you're still here, I want to thank you for tuning into my stream of consciousness. Let me know if you like this type of video and want to see more video essay, talking head type content from me. My name is Crimson Child. You can listen to my latest EP, Floating Falling, out everywhere now. My next EP, Untethered, comes out this summer. Thank you until next time.